Let's be honest. Talking about awakening, energy, frequency, new earth, it's not always easy. You might worry that you'll sound weird, too intense, too woo, or out there. Maybe you've tried sharing your experience and were met with blank stares or polite smiles. I know I've had those experiences. I get it. This path opens you up to a whole new reality, but it can be hard to express in a way that lands for others. So that's why in this episode, we're going to explore one of the most powerful ways to bridge the gap between those two worlds, storytelling. Because you don't need to convince anyone of anything. You don't need to convince anyone of anything. You just need to share your truth in a way that feels real, grounded, and human. So let's talk about how to do that. So, first of all, why does storytelling work when explanation fails? Well, awakening is experiential. It's subtle. It often doesn't make sense in linear language or everyday language, right? So when you try to explain it using words like ascension or downloads or 5D or timelines, it can sound abstract, even a little unhinged to someone who hasn't felt it. But stories have a way of bypassing the intellect and going straight direct to the heart. When you tell someone, one day I realized I wasn't just my thoughts, or something like, I went for a walk and felt this sense of peace that I'd never experienced before, they don't need to understand it in order to feel it. And that's what feeling does. It opens the door. Your lived experience is the bridge. You don't need to be a teacher. You don't need to be an expert or a guru. You don't even need the right language. You just need to speak from your lived truth. What was your moment of awakening? What changed for you? What did it feel like in your body? What's different now? Your story is the medicine, not the theory, the experience. So, how can you share your story without sounding out there or too woo? I'm going to give you 5 ways you can tell your story in a way that lands without losing the magic or diluting the truth. So, the first way is to use sensation over abstraction. What I mean by this is describe what it felt like, not just what happened. So, instead of saying, I had a spontaneous Kundalini experience or awakening, say, I felt this surge of energy rise up my spine and everything became still and alive at the same time. See the difference? So sensation is relatable, abstraction is not. The second way that you can share your story is to share the before as much as the after. Tell people what you were struggling with before, what wasn't working, what felt off. This makes your story relatable. And it lets them see that awakening didn't make you better than them. It just made you more you. Okay. The third way that you can storytell is to speak from curiosity, not certainty. Speak from curiosity, not certainty. So you don't have to present your truth as the ultimate truth. It's your truth. Just share what's true for you. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but something shifted. Right? That kind of language. That humility opens hearts way more than trying to educate or convince. The fourth way is to let people find themselves in the story. Let people find themselves in your story. The more personal your story, the more universal it becomes. When you speak from your unique experiences, others begin to see themselves in it. That's how resonance works. That's how truth recognizes truth. The fifth way is to keep it short and grounded. So you don't need to explain the entire universe, just one shift, one moment, one feeling that changed things for you. Sometimes all it takes is one line to plant a seed. Something like, that's when I realized Peace wasn't something I had to earn. It was already here. Right? How powerful is that? So storytelling isn't about proving anything. It's about sharing your frequency in a form that others can receive. Sharing your frequency in a form that others can receive. When you speak from your experience, not to teach, but to connect, you become a gentle reminder for others of what they already know deep down. In the next episode, we're going to explore another powerful way to invite others into awakening, not through answers, but through questions. The kind of questions that gently open doors, plant seeds, and suggest that there's something deeper there. So if you've ever wondered how to spark curiosity without creating conflict, you'll want to tune in for that one. Until next time, trust your story. It's enough. You're enough just as you are. You are